Shalom Akim. I want to give all praises and glory to Yahweh Bashem, Yahushai Bashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of GMS who teach and rule well, and salutations to all the Akim, all four corners of earth, which pushing his truth and sincerity. Shalom Akim. I want to get into this little article. It hit the fan like last week, man. I was just skimming through the news as usual. When you're in this truth, man, you got to be just skimming through the news and articles and just different things about America just be jumping off the screen towards you. You know what I'm saying? This is just not like a regular person watching the news for the scores or just for the dumps for the follies. We watch the news for the things that are happening, and we try to warn the people whether they listen to us or not. But at the end of the day, I felt, this is one of those what a coinky dinkers. The article, not this specific one. It was another one I seen. It was on the news, but I just pulled this one up, and this adds on some of the information. It was speaking about how the state of Texas is still trying to. They had their little meeting. I don't know exactly if it was like a state meeting or how exactly it was, but they had a majority meeting where they're meeting up and they're still trying to succeed from the United States, man. What a time for that, man. While everything is going on, while we got war, knocking at the door, they just opened things back up from that pandemic that happened, and now they're trying to succeed, and then it come to find out that there are other states that want to also join Texas in succeeding. So Texas is not the only state. I'm going to read a few of them in this article. It says, what would a nation divorce look like? The idea of succession did not originate with Majority Taylor Greene. It has been tried before. The question we need to ask is whether we are really ready to see what a red and blue America would look and act like. And, once again, we see things happening before they're going to happen. And as simple as these people are, that's not a good thing. And you 2/3 of our own people, that's even more worse for you, because you see how this devil treats you and acts now, without anything succeeding or with everything supposedly intact. You see how the devil treats you as far as, keeps you at the back of everything and keeps you at the end of everything, and gives you the worst of everything. So imagine a succession, and Esau would, they would fight over who would take on, who would take on the Negroes and Latinos, who going to invite them in the neighborhood, that would be the next fight. But let me read some of this article. He says, because, this is something that's been, like I said, this is, you have not just Texas, but other states are trying to succeed. They want to have a red and a blue state. Let me show a picture real fast. There it is. So those are the red states and those are the blue states. So how commerce and things go. This is what the devil wants, though. Let me read. So he says, Blue Americans are concentrated on the coast and some Midwestern states in the Great Lakes region and in Colorado and in New Mexico. Red Americans live in the Old Confederate, up and down the Great Plains and the Northern Rockies. Much of the heartland belongs to the Reds, even in the states like Massachusetts, New York, and Oregon, where the majority votes blue. Perhaps nation divorce is not such a wild idea, so long as it does not escalate, as some fear, as a proxy for a second civil war. And that's another thing that we've been preaching and hollering and hooting and hollering and making videos out, because we see these things happening. We see these different civil wars coming. We see the turmoil and turmoil coming down and down the road, man. So this devil, this is what's on his mind, man. But once again, where would you Israelites sit, man? The 2/3 of our people, where would you be at? Where would you be at? These are the questions you should be asking yourself. But then again, they're not going to be asking themselves that because they're not looking for these type of articles. They're thinking everything is going to be all right. You know, Esau argues and be ready to fist fight and kill each other over sport games, man. So imagine if something like this was to actually happen, you know, where a division of this sort was to actually happen, man. Let me bring this out fast. Matthew 12:25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? So how would this great place, this great whore America stand if you see half of, you know, in the middle is the red and on the coastlines are the blue, but you see some states are mixing with the red and the blue. Like look at Georgia down there mixed in with the blue, with the reds, you know, and our capital would be DC, so it would be with the blue. So, you know, this would be just a recipe for disaster, man, you know. You said they would proxy for a second civil war. It says dividing between the blue and the red, urban and rural, coastal and heartland, Whole Foods and Cracker Barrel is now so wide and so bitter that maybe as in a spent marriage, it is time to just hang it up, man. You know, so these people are actually having this on their heart, man, in their mind. So when you're out there just hinkly dorily going on these vacations and stuff, Esau in the back of his mind, you know, they're prepping, man. You know, they're prepping. They know these things is gonna happen, man. They're seeing these things, man. They're voting on these things, man. You know, they are voting on these things. What is Jake voting on, man? Next American Idol, just follies and dumb shit, man. You know, the two central camps no longer just agreed, as Green's tweet indicates that they despise each other. See, liberal attitudes are sick and disgusting, she says. Blue Americans are traitors and shove their liberal agenda down our throats. Blue tend to see the reds as backward, often enough as rubies and racists and rednecks. The reds see the blues as political correct American haters and snowflakes, and sometimes as outright communists. In fact, both camps now often declare that they do not any longer recognize the other side as having political, economical, or social legitimacy, man. This house is divided, you know. This place is done, and this is going under the people's nose, you know. So when those good old boys, and the reason I see it under people's noses, I'm speaking about the regular Mo and Joe that's watching the March of Madness right now. You know, while America's really getting ready to go through madness. They're really getting ready to go through madness. Those certain places like Texas and stuff, they're just like a vote away, you know, what's a runoff away from a split. What's happening here in Punk Chicago, man? You know, they voted out the Punk Mayor Larry out. He out of the office, you know, and now they have these two guys running off, getting ready to do a runoff, you know, and both of them, you know, it's once again it'll divide the city, you know, because you know you got a black guy against a white guy, plus one is for hardline cops and one isn't, you know, just more division. So this place is spewing up more and more division, man, you know, while the people are staying asleep, man, you know, and they're gonna they just want them to go to the polls like everything else, you know, and everything's gonna be all right, man. All you gotta do is put your vote in, and everything will be all right. The next politician up, they'll keep your ideas, they'll keep your whatever you wanted them to do for you, they'll keep in mind, you know. You know how these politicians go. All you gotta do is talk to them, and they're just spewing out hot air, man. They're not telling you about the crumbling market. They're not telling you about how the upper government is taking money and running with it, man, you know. But they always getting busted. Like here, once again, in the state of Illinois, you know, if you run for governor, you best believe in a few years you'll be in jail. Our last few governors ended up in jail for since I've been born, you know, since I've been alive, you know. At least 9 governors have been in jail, you know, and they just keep getting caught with their hand in the cookie jar, man, you know. It says, so they're going back to the Civil War and just, you know, bringing up points about the Civil War and what split America, and then bringing up other points of other countries that split. But at the end of the day, yeah, this place is jacked up and it's done with, man. Let me bring this out. This is Leviticus 18:25. In the land is defiled. Therefore I do visit the iniquity, therefore, upon it. And the land itself vomit out her inhabitants, man. And the Lord is showing himself through these different chariot sightings that are being seen, man. Esau is now, he's kind of trying to change the name and narrative a little bit, but he's now can't hide it anymore because people have drones and more cameras out, so he's starting to see that the chariots are, his problem now, and he's got to address it now, and he was trying to hide it for so long, but you can't hide it. You can't hide it too much longer because, like I said, people have too much technology out now. You have drones, you have high-powered cameras and everything. So they're seeing these chariots flying through the skies and stuff, man. These chariots that Esau thinks that he's going to be able to go against, man. But at the end of the day, we're going to need those chariots to come and fight this devil's army because you see what he's trying to do, man. He's trying to split this country. And once again, if he was to do that, where would you Israelites be? That's the key question. Where would we be at, man? Where would they push us? Where would they put us at? You see what they did to Gad? They kept pushing Gad farther and farther. They kept pushing him farther and farther west, and then finally they just gave him a rock to sit on and survive off a rock. They ain't even got no running water, electricity, none of that. They got to go out into this. There's a lady down in New Mexico who drives a truck, old 1940, 1950. I think the truck is supposed to be for gas, but they use it for water, and she delivers water to the people, man. This is Psalm 37:3. Trust in the Lord and do good, so that thou will dwell in the land, and verily thou shalt be fed, man. So that's what we're supposed to be waiting for, man, and putting our trust in, man. Psalm 37:4. Delight thyself also in the Lord, and he shall give thee the desires of thy heart, man. And the desires of the heart is to get away from this damn devil, man. Because you see what's hell-bent on him, man. He is hell-bent on trying to start another civil war, man. Right under your people's noses. While you watching March Madness, they gearing up for war madness. With that being said, just edifying. Shalom, Akim.